ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Welcome into the Friday, May 13th edition. The Drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. You can be a part of the program by calling 304-396-TALK. That is the text line, and the voice line is 877-420-TALK. That's 877-420-8255. Coming up today on the program, John Mercer joins me. We're going to catch up with him. It's a Friday. A couple of reasons to catch up with John. First, adding some new components to the team. So John will get us updated there. And, of course, John and I have a long-standing rivalry between my hockey team and his hockey team being the Pittsburgh Penguins, and my hockey team being the New York Rangers. So John's going to join me on the program. We'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, John and I just have a long-standing rivalry, period. You would think we get along so well, but yet we have these long-standing rivalries when it comes to professional sports. And speaking of professional sports, there's a big one coming up tonight. As far as rivalries are concerned, the Reds and the Pirates. We've got it for you. 6:10 going to be our airtime here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I am seriously interested in how this is going to go. You got the Reds all of a sudden resurgent, winning series, and then you have the Pirates faltering against Cincinnati and then bouncing right back against, well, one of the best teams in baseball right now. So where are we? What's going to happen here? Is this going to be a bizarro world? We're going to have a pitcher's duel. We're going to have a slugfest. What are we going to have here? You can find out tonight starting 6:10 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So I know John will be tuned in to that. Of course, he is going to be with us here in the next few minutes to talk tennis, so we'll do that with him. As I mentioned, we've got hockey action across the weekend. Going to be some fun stuff. In the NHL, everything is an elimination game. That's exciting. Everything's an elimination game. And the three series that are playing out tonight, the Flames taking on the Stars. Calgary leads that series 3-2. So that should be fun. The Panthers are taking on the Capitals. Florida leads that 3-2. And as I mentioned, the Rangers are taking on the Penguins. 3-2 there in favor of Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby out with a concussion. So we'll go over all of that later. The NBA playoffs tonight. Celtics and the Bucks. Milwaukee leads that 3-2. And then the Grizzlies and Warriors. Golden State leading 3-2. So elimination games across the board. Yesterday was also a very special day in the National Football League. It was a new made-up holiday. It was the actual release of the schedule. We had to hype this thing up. I mean, this was almost like the release of the brackets. You know how much we have to hype up the brackets. The brackets come out. You have the seedings. You know where your favorite team is going to be. And then we have hour upon hour upon hour of breaking this down, breaking the matchups. Who's going to come out of the East? Which team can come out of the West? Who's the dark horse? Who's the Cinderella? Who shouldn't be in the bracket? We got all of that, and we just pontificate over that for hours. And we knew which opponents the Bengals were going to face. We knew the opponents. We just didn't know when and where. We knew where. We knew the home and road schedule. We just didn't know when. Where being the television side of things. And the Bengals, first of all, this is unheard of. This is never a thing. The Bengals, once again, getting to open up at home. It's very rare, but the Bengals get to open up at home, and it's going to be against the Steelers. So right off the bat, the Steelers are going to be 0-1. And then the Bengals get to go on the road for 2 weeks. That's your reward for opening up at home. You get 2 weeks on the road. So Cowboys will be a week 2 matchup, 4:25. I'll take that. That's a primetime of sorts matchup. I mean, that's the national game right there, or at least that could be in that window. And then week 3, 1 p.m. at the Jets. And then the real big prime times. And I count the 425 game. That's a pretty good, that's a coveted time slot there. So week 4, the Bengals taking on the Dolphins, and it's Thursday night football. Thursday night football. Follow that up with the Bengals at the Ravens for Sunday night football. So week 4 and week 5, Thursday into Sunday. And that means the Bengals have a little extra time to get ready for the Ravens. That means the Bengals have a little less time to get ready for the Dolphins. We'll see what challenges those hold for the Bengals. And then week 6 is going to be at the Saints. Week 7 is going to be against the Falcons. Week 8, Monday Night Football, back on the prime times against the dreaded Cleveland Browns. So a primetime affair, Week 8 against the Browns. I like it. And then the Panthers will be the Week 9 opponent. That's a 1 p.m. game. And then we get into the second half of the season here. Week 10's the bye. Steelers are going to be a Sunday night football game. The road trip, the return game, 8:20 p.m. Sunday night football on the 20th. And then we get into Week 12, which is going to be a normal game, 1 p.m. Week 13, that is going to be December 4th against the Chiefs. That is home against the Bengals, 4:25 p.m. I wonder if renowned Chiefs fan Tony Kemper will spring for the tickets on that. I wonder. I'm going to find out real soon if he's going to spring for the tickets here. If I don't hear a response from him soon, I'm going to assume that he is springing for the tickets. So I think that's how we're working that. If I don't hear from Coach Kemper, I'm just going to assume he agrees with me and he's paying for the tickets to go see the Bengals and Chiefs. We're going to ride in his ride too. I'm sure it's really nice. It's got to be. Coach K, all that Marshall money he's got, yeah, it's got to be nice. We get back to the Browns on Week 14. That's a 1 p.m. affair. And then Week 15, another one of those national games, a little bit more reach. On December 18th, it'll be the Bengals at the Buccaneers. And then on the 24th, Christmas Eve, it'll be the Bengals at the Patriots. Week 17, Monday Night Football, going to be on the day after New Year's. Bills. Monday Night Football, Week 17, the Bengals and the Bills, 8:30 p.m. So we had to have a entire block of programming. Just here's the schedule. Here we go. Which game are you going to? Are you excited? What if we did the Marshall schedule this way? We had a block. We had an hour-long program just to talk about the Marshall schedule, and we released it maybe in 5-minute chunks here, 5-minute increments. Here's the Marshall schedule, and then you have me and Jake Griffith from Herd Vision. We just break it down. If it's Herd Vision, he'll be the lead, and I'll just, that's right, Jake. That would be my role. That'll be my prime time analysis. That's right, Jake. I would be that. Cash a little check there. A little special programming. Just have an hour. Of course, I would know ahead of time because I'd have to do the homework and the research. But yeah, you can't do college football schedules like that way. It just doesn't work that way. The NFL, you can do that here. I mean, what if Major League Baseball did this? That would be absolutely insane. You could not do something of that magnitude. You can't do that with the NBA. It's too big. And then the NHL, same story there. So with those three sports, you can't really do anything of that magnitude. I mean, with the Bengals and with the NFL, we're up to 17 regular season games, and now we're coming up with ways to expand the reach even further of the NFL. The NFL being a 24/7, 365 thing. I mean, did we need all that time for the draft? Did we need to turn the draft into a multi-day festival event? Did that have to happen? And I watched the first day of the draft briefly because the Bengals were picking late, so I did not get in. I'm not the guy showing up on Saturday for round 6 wearing my Bengals jersey. I'm not that guy. I know some that are, but I'm not showing up. I'm talking Saturday here. Unless I knew something was going to happen there. Maybe I would be there. Okay, Najee got drafted in round 7, so I would be that guy with the Marshall jersey. Yeah, Najee. Camera would be all focused in on me, and I would be looking like I knew what was going to happen here. I'm not that guy, but there are a lot of people who are there. That or that guy or that person, that fan. I'll say this, though. The draft, it was fun in New York, but now it's an event. It's a festival. We got to have it in festival-type atmospheres. We've got a lot to get into. We're going to update softball. Marshall softball not doing so well right now. More coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Friday, May 13th edition. It's The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Coming up tonight, we've got baseball action. Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Cincinnati Reds. We go on the air 6:10. I know who will be tuned in. He is a well-known apologist for all teams in the greater Pittsburgh area. He's even an apologist for the USFL team. He is one John Mercer, happens to be the head coach of the Marshall tennis team. He joins us on the program. And tonight, it's Game 6 between the Penguins and the Rangers. Two teams that we follow, you and I. So we have some interest in this tonight, John.
Yep, Game 6. Big deal.
You know what comes after?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you know what comes after Game 6?
The second round of the playoffs?
Game 7.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be.
It was the second round.
No,
I don't know.
not for you this year.
Maybe the Rangers will hold them under 7 goals this game.
Is Sidney Crosby playing?
I don't think so.
Then they'll be fine.
So,
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll be completely fine.
Time to rise to the occasion, right?
Yeah, it's time.
Got to pick up the slack.
Yeah, they'll pick up the slack. All right. It's
time for Malcolm to play the game with his life. So,
No, it's you're going down. Just write it down right now. Just going down, and then after Game 7, I will be back in touch with you.
You gonna pick a score?
I'm not going that far. Hey, come on.
5-3.
Have you seen some of these series? I'm not picking a score. I'm not doing that. No. You're not getting me on that one. All I know is after Game 7, check your phone.
All right.
I should
trying to hold off.
I should do a group
I was trying
text.
to hold off till the series was over, and then all of a sudden you won one game.
Yeah.
I started getting text messages.
I'm going to do a group text here. It's going to be you. It's going to be Kelly Schmidt.
Oh yeah, Coach Kelly.
Let's see. I'll find out. There's some other people. I'll see if you know them. I know of a few Pittsburgh people that will get a text from me here. Maybe former assistant coach Kelly Schmidt will be happy to hear from me after Game 7. Maybe not. I don't know.
I think it kind of depends how Game 7 goes. The attitude you're going to get.
I got to ask you, did you put her up to all those times she was harassing me, or was that on her?
That was 100% on her. You know I like you, Paul. I would never do that to you.
I appreciate that. And it's all in good fun, kinda.
Oh yeah.
Kinda.
Well, she is true, raised and bred, everything Pittsburgh. So
she's
that's
a
what you're
Yinzer.
gonna get.
She's a Yinzer.
Yep.
Which I'm still trying to.
Poke the bear. That's
Yeah.
what you're gonna get.
We'll see. Game 6. We're gonna see how much this check I'm writing right now. I have to cash tonight, so we'll find out. I know one thing: if the Rangers lose, I know I'll hear from you first. Maybe.
At this point, yes.
It's gonna be you.
Definitely.
It's gonna be you or former president of the Huntington Chamber of Commerce, Bill Bissett, one of you two will rush to the phone first.
We'll be the first ones up. Yeah.
It might
not even wait for the final whistle if this is the case.
Pretty much. It's going to just ring in. It's going to be you. It's going to be Schmidt probably, if she's even awake. It's going to be probably Bill. I don't know. You know Mike Powers, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might get some harassment on social media from him, maybe, or from his son Kyle. Former Charleston newspaper sports writer Doug Smock. I'll get some social media abuse from him. I'm expecting it.
All well deserved if the Penguins win Game 6. So.
But it's not happening. I'm not worried. Yeah. It's going to be good tonight.
Yeah.
So
we'll see if those young guns are ready to deal with the Pittsburgh crowd.
Let's talk about what your specialty is, because it's obviously not hockey. It's tennis.
Yes.
Okay. The other day I texted you and I said, John, I can't pronounce these names. I'm going to butcher them. And you're like, well, they're just like hockey players. And so when I asked you for a pronunciation, your reply was, well, I don't know how to pronounce them. You recruited them, John. What are you telling me here?
Yeah, they're wonderful young ladies. So, yep, they're international. Got two coming from Serbia, one coming from Sweden, which of course the one from Sweden's the easiest. So Johanna Strom. So that's an easy one. The Serbia one, that's a whole different ballgame, right?
Well, let's talk about the easy one first.
All right. Yep.
So what does she bring to Marshall Tennis? What are you looking for and excited about?
So left-handed, another lefty, replacing a lefty, but just good all-around player. I mean, all three of these players have a lot of experience. They have experience playing at the lower professional level. They have what we call a UTR rating that is very high. That will, is the same level basically, or higher than our number one player, who was a freshman this year, who had an outstanding year. And Johanna, I mean, she's just a really good athlete, which all three of them are. Really good athlete. It's a big lefty forehand, moves really well. She's going to be, like all three of them, a legit, college starter right off the bat. I mean, she can play, right away, on a team that's a top 50 team.
Okay, let's go with the hard ones now. You have to pronounce them all. And before we get into that, why did you go to Serbia? And I know we got the flight school, but I don't think we have the air miles just yet. You're not actually going into Serbia to recruit, are you? I mean, you're not actually. I mean, is that where our Marshall recruiting budget is going? Trips to Serbia for you to scout? How's that work?
No, yeah. So I don't know. You have an hour.
I mean, I got some time here. I'll give you some time. You don't have an hour, but if you can keep it interesting.
Okay, I'll try to keep it interesting.
Okay.
So basically what is happening in the world of tennis, which is always kind of interesting, because to me, you end up eventually kind of seeing these same trends in a lot of the other Olympic sports, if not basketball. You're already seeing it a lot in the NBA, is that there are no more borders anymore. Coaches are basically interested in what level you are. Can you show up at North Carolina? Can you show up at Virginia? Can you show up at Oregon, Gonzaga, right? Can you play soccer for Marshall? And can you compete at what level we're trying to compete at? And so that's basically what we're doing. So as the world changed, forever, my program, we basically had 50% international, 50% American. To win the Sun Belt, or what we were in, Conference USA, you basically had to have a certain level of player. And to me, with the coming about of the Power Five and just how that's evolved over the last 8 years or so, it has gotten really difficult to recruit at that level, given the advantages that the Power Five have. So the level I'm talking about is what you saw before when you were here, the Jessica Johnsons, the Ashley Crows, the Michaela Kissels. These were all players who were top 10 American players and it just wasn't happening. I mean, we couldn't get Americans at that level. We were really, which we always were anyway, still a developmental program, but we were always able to fill the top of our lineup. And that's why we were able to final an NCAA tournament. We were getting players like that, legitimate players, who were big-time D1 Power 5 type players. So what has happened is that you find a lot, this is what, what I've done is I basically recruited an assistant coach who came in, who's from Belgium. And he knows the European system inside and out. He knows a lot of the coaches, a lot of the academies, a lot of the players, knows parents, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have a lot to offer here at Marshall University. It's a great fit academically for a lot of international students. The tennis is very well supported, and that's why they're here. You get to know them, you get to talk to them. They feel comfortable. You establish that relationship, and then you can get this level player. And this is the level player that we should be able to compete, for a Sun Belt Conference championship. This is what we needed to do. So all those plans were kind of put on hold. We were in the process of going that way when COVID hit, and that kind of set everything back for a couple of years. But coming out of that year, I was able to make a hire and, add to my staff. And, more than ever, assistant coaches are, more important than ever because it's just more boots on the ground and eyes out there and, voices, talking to people. So, just like Kelly was a great assistant coach and, was great recruiting American kids. Now you just got to go with the times. You got, like they always say, that's all you hear nowadays. It's either, kind of figure out the system, how to build a better mousetrap, or just, get left behind. So, that's what we're doing. And, we're really excited about this coming year. So, we should, be a better team and, keep being more competitive. And the Sun Belts, just adds that much more excitement to it.
So you recruit Stockholm, Sweden, Belgrade, Serbia, and
we recruit everywhere now. Everywhere.
And Hurricane, West Virginia.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, what doesn't make sense here? Sweden, Serbia, Hurricane.
So Katie is in the finals of the state tournament tomorrow, flight 2, and she is a local kid who grew up in our junior program. And really wanted. We have another girl who did it this past year, Kylie Fisher, who did that also. Audrey Grigore, who's from Charleston. And basically, what we're doing is we're offering these players that are here the opportunity to be a member of a top flight Division I program and really have that experience. Be around these kids. That are from all over the world, experience their cultures, their languages, meet their parents, just be part of it. And vice versa, it's a great way for the players who are coming in from internationally to meet local kids who grew up in this area, who play tennis in this area, and, know the ins and outs of Huntington, West Virginia. And so it's a great combination. Kylie was a great ambassador, for our area. With these teams, with our players. And I think our, 3 freshmen from last year really enjoyed being here in Huntington. It really made it even much more of an experience than just the university. They got to know the area. They got, she got them around the different places, meet different people, so on and so on. And it's really something, it's just kind of building a culture, just not within your team, but, having that culture, of knowing, what does Huntington, West Virginia have to offer and the people of Huntington, which is really what you need to promote.
How difficult is it, though, to have such a diverse squad? Feels like a group that might be fish out of water, to use a very tired pun, but still, they might feel like they're fish out of water, being sort of outsiders, not just within the group, but within the entire athletic community. I mean, Serbia, again, it's not too many people are on campus from Serbia or Sweden, but there are plenty of people from Hurricane.
Yeah. Although we've had a few basketball players. We had a former tennis player, Maria Bogisevic, and there are a group of Serbians around who are very tight knit. It's very interesting. They get together, they spend time together, they love Huntington. They stayed here after school, and that's again is a selling point to having two players come from that area. But it is. I mean, it's different from the standpoint that somebody like Kylie gets in there. It's an eye-opening experience. It'll be the same with Katie. All of a sudden you're doing weights, 7 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're doing a lot of running on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. There's just a lot that goes into it that, when you're jumping from the high school level here up to a high Division I level. And what we do, we try to work, our practices and so on, around what they can do. Not for, the better players, but for the players that aren't as good on the team. They have certain specific things that they're looking to work on to get better, and we try to address those and try to get them better at those things. And so, but to me, it's worth doing the extra work, the extra planning and the extra running of practices for everybody. I think that, the local kids, if they come here and, they're good enough. I mean, they got to be. Kylie, she was a pretty good state high school player. Like I said, Katie, she's got a good shot at winning a state title tomorrow. I mean, they can play, I mean, they're not, like learning how to keep score. They can legitimately play. But I think it's just a great thing for both sides. It's great education for our international students. It's a great education for our local students, local tennis playing students, that are that level, that are good enough to be on our team, to have that experience. And I know Kylie has loved it, and same with the others. So that's what we want to do, That's what we're in the business for. We're to educate them, and, this is just all part of it. So it's good.
John Mercer joins me. Okay, since West Virginia is the toughest language to pronounce Katie's last name?
Linneman.
Limanen.
Linneman. Yeah.
Limanen. I was going to go with Lima. See, I see Lima in that name, and I want to go to that. Let's Limanen. Limanen.
Yep. So, you got it.
Fun with phonetics with Paul and John here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. What are you going to do now that our guy Jason Corrier is leaving? What are you doing now?
Oh wow!
What's going on here? What did you talk? Did you try to talk him out of it? What's going on?
Jason, he didn't even consult me. He just called me up and said, "I'm leaving."
He probably knew you'd talk him out of it. He probably couldn't face you because leaving you would be the hardest.
Yeah, I don't think it was so hard to leave me. So, but I mean, he's been here 11 years. I mean, he works like crazy. I mean, it's a tough job. A lot of hours, weekends, holidays. You know how it is, right? I mean, it's a 7-day thing when everyone else is enjoying the football game. He's working the football game. Right. So, and he's staying in the business, of course, but it's just a great opportunity. I mean, to go down to Tulane, and, great school, and, great city. And, I think, sometimes it's good, I mean, you get out there and you get experience some other things. Can't say that we've done that a whole lot, myself and my family. I mean, we've been here, 30 years almost. So, really enjoy it. But, I think it's a good move. I mean, I think it's a good program. He's, playing in the AAC. And, I think he'll really enjoy it. We were down there a couple years ago and played. And actually the men's coach, who has a really good team, tennis coach, he was one of my former players at WVU. So there you go.
So what does a guy like that bring to you, a sport like tennis, because it varies from school to school, conference to conference, how much attention that sports not named football and or basketball receive? It's hit or miss.
Right. Yes. So how much does Jason's job influence that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, just what's a guy like that? His job is to make sure that you're getting proper, that you're getting equal and proper attention, or that the word's getting out on Herd Tennis.
Right. Yeah. So he oversaw the department, and there are a couple of people who worked under him, Cody and Joe. And, they were basically in charge of all the stat stuff for our matches. So anything that you saw, online, the live scoring, that kind of stuff. And then basically all the releases after, any quotes, I would talk to them after, they get quotes and so on. And, they would basically update all, the web pages and all that, keep that all in tone. So it is, it's important because when you're recruiting, the kids are looking at this stuff. They want to kind of get as much of a feel for your program as possible. So, they're going to check the Snapchats, the Twitters, any releases there, and they're going to check and see what sports information put out. So, that's good. Now, with Jason leaving, I think, one of the things that, we're doing, tennis-wise, not that really, we'll just keep continuing that way. It was already in the works, so we're having to do Jason leaving. But there's going to be a lot more video stuff. We'll be going to live streaming, all of our home matches, whether they're indoors, outdoors. So, they're currently working on that so that anybody anywhere can follow our matches. And that's really become the norm around college tennis. So, tomorrow, my son, playing at Kentucky, they play their round of 16 match against Wake Forest at home. Their Sweet 16 NCAA match. Anybody can watch that. Just go on their website and get the live streaming, and you can watch the round of 16, and that's the way it is for all of it. So some stuff will probably be on ESPN3. We did our last home match, which was great. That was on ESPN3, and I got some good feedback from people. They were like, "Wow, yeah, I saw you were there on ESPN3." So I think a lot of that department that Jason is in is just going to continue to evolve. What he's going to do is he's going to take all that information, he's going to take it down to Tulane. So, because he is really a jack of all trades now. He can do a lot of different things. And that's kind of, a lot of times the beauty of working at Marshall, as you know, you eventually kind of learn to do a lot of different things. This makes you very marketable as an employee. And that's a great thing.
It's a feature of the job. Yeah, it's a feature of the job.
It is. We all complain about all the work you have to do, but in the long run, it's a great thing because you're learning about what a lot of other people do, and you have an appreciation, for the Jasons and the Codys and the Joes, and you really, they are a major part of what we do.
Hey, don't forget Scott. Don't forget Scott Hall, man. Don't forget Scott.
Yes. And really, they all are. It's really a whole team effort. Everybody from Beatrice, who's our SWA, they're just all to the training room. I can't tell you how many hours you spend talking to trainers about where the health is with certain players.
Right.
They have issues. People get injured. They have injuries that don't have anything to do with their sport, and you're trying to help them and everything else. So it is really a multi. There's the head coach who's the face of it, but how many people are involved is just it's amazing. To get through a year and to really get the student athletes a first class experience is a lot of work that's done by a lot of people.
John Mercer, my guest, before I let you go, you're saying you're getting feedback on this video stuff. I never hear about the feedback that coming after the radio appearance. I don't get those reports. So, what are you saying? What are you saying?
You need to put some tennis highlights on there.
Are you saying that when these little chats that we don't get feedback? When we have these little conversations, they don't get feedback. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah. So they love you.
Okay, so
you gotta have some highlights. You gotta get some highlights next year.
All right.
On your tweet, a little tennis highlight.
Okay. Well, maybe if the new sports information director or John Mercer would supply that, maybe I would tweet that out. We'll see.
There we go. We'll work on it.
I have been.
You'll be first on the list.
I've been displaced by Herd Vision and Jake Griffith. Okay, that's fine.
Jake. Yes.
That's fine.
Jake is turning into a very valuable person.
That's fine. I get it. I understand. I've been displaced in your mind.
No, you got a major importance.
I mean, come on. I don't get this treatment from Kemper. Come on, John.
We got to keep you out there. Got to keep sending out your podcast. So,
John Mercer, my guest. Yeah. Well, I'll be texting you after Game 7. I'll leave you be tonight.
Okay. All right.
I'll leave you be. Maybe. I don't know. I can't guarantee it.
Hopefully I'll be texting you.
Yeah, I hope not. I really don't want to hear. John, I like you, but I don't want to hear from you tonight.
You don't want to hear from me?
I don't want to hear from you tonight. So,
all right. I'll send you a text.
Great. I look forward to your despair tonight. Go Rangers.
See what happens, right?
Yeah, maybe Malkin, maybe a concussion that happens. I mean, Malkin gets a concussion. I don't know what happens here.
Yeah, I don't know. Malkin, I don't know if he'll get one or not.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, John. We'll talk to you soon. I will.
Hit him in the knee. How about that?
I will be rooting against your Penguins with every breath of my and fiber of my being. And you know what? I hope it's very sad at your home tonight.
Tell those Rangers to play fair.
All right, I'll talk to him. I'll be on the phone right now with Panarin.
Yeah.
Zibanejad. I'm gonna get. Yeah, Coach takes my call. I'll work on that for you.
Right.
Thanks, John. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Go hard.
John Mercer, head coach of the tennis team. You know, we do go a little long with John now and then. It's okay. It's Friday. It's why Fridays are perfect for John Mercer, the Herd. Going international with its tennis recruiting. Quick timeout. Come back. We'll figure out what's happening with Marshall softball. We'll find out where the Herd's at right now when we continue with this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We went a little long with John Mercer, but that's okay. John's always fun to talk to. Let's get you caught up on Marshall softball. It's the end of the sixth right now. And Marshall trails Western Kentucky 9-5. This is an elimination game. If Marshall wins, the Herd will advance to face off, believe it or not, against Louisiana Tech. North Texas dropped them from the winner's bracket earlier to the elimination bracket. Marshall has a chance, however, it's not looking good. Sydney Nestor has had some difficulties in this tournament. And that led to some questioning of, okay, is she getting too many reps? What's happening with Sydney Nestor? It's tournament time. Unfortunately, it doesn't go your way all the time. Herd still with an opportunity here, but trailing 9-5 in the end of the sixth. We're going to the top of the seventh here. All right, we will take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We will wrap it up, and then we will get some of your text in. We'll do that on the other side of the break here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Friday, May 13th edition. It's The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is open. Best time to get me is during show hours at 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. Texter writes in, I've read two different writers on college football news say Marshall is going to come in and win the conference in football. I think so. I'm just going to say it right now. Marshall is going to come in and win the conference in Sun Belt. I know that's going to paint a target right on my back. That's fine. No, that's a great evaluation. It's going to be difficult, though. I think the East Division and the Sun Belt is going to be extremely tough. If Marshall wins that division, it's going to be maybe the black and blue division of the Sun Belt. It's going to be tough. You're not going to get through that division unscathed. You win that division, you've done something. And I know there's some push to eliminate divisions. I don't know if I like that, only because one, I don't think you can get a fair schedule here. You got too many teams. I don't know if I like that. I like the division because you got to win your division. If you win your division, you take on the best team in the West. I mean, I really like that because it keeps the teams in the East Division and the West Division a little bit more engaged, because there could be not that much separation between teams in both the East and the West. But if you've got the two best teams and they're both from the East, I mean, I think you might lose some engagement from the West. I need to see how it would play out. I know the ACC is talking about it. I'm not sure if I'm jumping on that bandwagon just yet, but I do like where Marshall's at right now. Now, I'm not going to be the one saying it. I know I just said it, but I'm really not going to be the one saying that too loudly around Coach Huff, because he's going to look at me and say, stop serving the rat poison, or some variation of that. I guarantee you. Hey, Coach, you're projected to come in with a lot of people thinking you're going to come in and win the Sun Belt. He's going to look at me and go, yeah, shut up. Rat poison. Stop that. I don't think Coach Huff would actually say shut up to me, but he'd be thinking it if I came out and said that. But it's pretty cool that you got a lot of people looking at the Herd thinking, hey, you know what? This might be a team that could come in and immediately make an impact in the Sun Belt. And I hope that the pundits are right. I hope that they have seen something in their crystal ball that has given them some sort of glimpse into the future, and it's Marshall holding up a Sun Belt championship. That would be fantastic, just to see how well the Herd can do. Okay, we got to talk about tickets, by the way. I'm sure you saw it by now. If you haven't, let me get you up to date here. The tickets for Notre Dame. You want to go to that, right? Yeah, I get it. So, Monday, 9 a.m. That is Monday, 9 a.m., May 16th. Tickets going on sale. So, here's how you do it. In order to purchase tickets, you got to be an active Big Green Scholarship Foundation member. And that means you have to contribute to the 2022 Big Green Annual Fund. That's meaning you're active. And if you're not an active member or you haven't contributed, you can become a member, and the price of entry at minimum is $5 per month. That's what the minimum requirement will be. So, the more you spend, the more you can buy. Here are the contribution and ticket requirements for the Notre Dame game. $60 to $149 will get you up to 2 tickets. So if you're at that $60 to $149 level, 2 tickets. If you're at the $150 to $299 level, you're getting up to 4 tickets. If you're at the $300 to $799 level, you're up to 6 tickets you can purchase. And 800 plus, maximum 12 tickets. So 60 up to 2 tickets, 150 up to 4 tickets, 300 up to 6 tickets, 800 up to max 12. There you go. And if you get more information, the ticket office will definitely help you out with that purchase. I think they're going to go quick. All right, we got a score update. Unfortunately, from Marshall softball, it's not a good score. Western Kentucky wins the contest 9-5, eliminating the Thundering Herd from the Conference USA tournament. Thus ends the Marshall softball season. So it was a good run for Marshall. It was a good run for the most part from Sydney Nestor. Unfortunately, just ran out of gas. I think that's probably the best way. Ran out of gas. Marshall, I hope in the upcoming years, can find a little depth. I know that would help if you get a little depth there, because you can ride Sydney as far as you can, but if you don't have anyone to back her up or anyone that's on her level as well, it's going to be very difficult. But all in all, a good season for the Thundering Herd. Just doesn't end the way that I'm sure Megan Smith-Lyon would have liked to have seen it go. That does it for this edition of the program. Back on Monday, we'll do it all over again right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.